Hey everybody, I'm planting a mango tree today, okay? Here it is. It's in a 15-gallon pot. I've never planted a tree in a 15-gallon pot before. It's gonna be the first time. This might turn into a shit show, but I want to bring you guys along for the ride and show you guys some stuff that I do. Hopefully you guys can avoid mistakes that I make, because I'm gonna make some mistakes, but I'm gonna do some stuff to this tree as well. So watch the video to the end, because I'm gonna do some controversial stuff to this tree. Anyways, this is a Manila mango, and I've had it since 2015. It was in a 5-gallon pot. Since then I put it into a 15-gallon pot, and now it's ready to go into the ground. Like, I already painted it right here. I already put some paint on it, because believe it or not, yes, mangoes get sunburn. I didn't know that, but they do. And that's some sunburn right there. So anyways, I'm gonna, let's get it planting. Here's my hole. Here's the hole. It's as wide as the pot and just as deep as the pot. And that's the rule of thumb with mangoes and with any fruit tree you plant in the ground. Alright, I got my trusty little hammer. This is gonna make it easy to get this tree out of the pot. I'm gonna hit the back and it should easily come out. Let's try it. Okay. That should loosen it. I'll hit the sides a little bit. Oh yeah, I feel it coming out. There we go. Oh man, I knew this was gonna mess up. Okay. I'm gonna loosen up the roots a little bit. I'm gonna loosen the roots so it can easily transition to the ground. It's been in the pot for so long, so it's a good idea to loosen the roots. And there it is, just like that. Native soil is going right back into the hole. No special fertilizer, no compost, no amendment, nothing extra. Native soil goes right back in. This soil is pretty good. It's like mostly sand, a little bit of clay. I talked to my neighbor who used to live over here, rest in peace, Fred. He's lived here since the 60s, and he told me this place used to be the dumps. No one wanted to live here because this place would flood all the time. And they would grow lettuce and parsley or something like that, or cilantro or something. This whole place used to be like lettuce fields. So that's the history. That means it's good soil. So native soil only, alright? I'm gonna try to lift this trash can. Ugh, it's too heavy. I'm too weak. Okay. Alright guys, so the goal of this tree, I'm gonna let it grow out, and then once it gets pretty tall, I'll graft many different varieties onto this tree to see which one actually fruits here. So I think I cracked the tree when I took it out of a pot. I heard a cracking sound and the tree leaned over, so that was a mistake I made. But the beautiful thing about this mangoes are so tough, I'm sure this will survive, despite its root system getting messed up like that. Because I've seen mangoes growing in underwater, in the swamp, submerged. And I've seen mangoes grow in the desert, in an exact opposite situation, really dry conditions. So mangoes are super tough, alright? Let's finish this up. As usual, I'm gonna make my little berm to hold water here. So basically I'm gonna push away soil from the center. I'm gonna make a mound. And this will hold water, so when we water it, all the water will stay here in this little spot right here. and it'll water the tree. All right. I want the tree to be upright, as straight as possible. And now's the time you can control that. You can shape that about your tree. You can organize it and position it to be as upright as possible. And we'll make our berm. I'm pushing away soil from the center. Pushing away soil from the center, from the trunk. And this way water will stay here. Hey Jim, how's it going? Pretty good.
Another tree, huh?
Yep.
The other one didn't make it?
No, yeah, that one died.
You're kidding.
Yeah. It was too, the other one was too tropical. It can't take our cold weather.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what's this one? This looks like a...
This is mango.
Oh, mango.
Yeah. Yep. Alright guys, look at this tree. It's like laying on the ground. The branches are so funky. What a weird, strange growth habit. But look what I did here. So the tree was originally like up to here. It was double the height. I cut it back to here, and these 4 branches grew out. And I'm gonna get this tree started on its pruning program immediately, actually. And I'm gonna cut each of these 4 branches because I want the same kind of branching out situation on each of these 4. So to do that, I'm gonna start pruning the tree, and it'll also prevent some sunburn that I had to start painting the tree white. Hopefully that complex branching will stop the sunburn as well. But this thing is like on the ground basically. Let's start watering and then we'll do the pruning. So basically I want to avoid this situation. You see here, I planted this tree back when I didn't know too much about pruning, and so I let it grow exactly the way it was, like I got it from the nursery, and it's growing fine. It's a mango tree. It's doing well, and I planted the other one right over there, a few feet away. But the problem is, it started cracking. You see the cracks here on the trunk? That's some sunburn. I didn't even know mango sunburn, but you know, even mangoes, which are a tropical, subtropical tree, their trunks do sunburn, and they start to crack like that. And so I had to come in and paint it. But if I had a chance to plant this tree again, I would cut it way back down here and get some low branching and more complex branching, and it would be a much sturdier and more controllable height of the tree. This one is kind of tall now. It's like 12 feet tall. So yeah, so I won't make the same mistake again. So I'll do exactly that with this tree that we just planted here, which is like sleeping on the ground basically. So I have the water going. It's on low setting. That low. I'll leave it there for like 15 minutes and I'll let it go. And then I'll come in tomorrow and in the next 2 or 3 days and water it again for about 15 minutes. Same kind of setting, really low setting. And look how the berm is holding the water in there. That's what you want. You don't want water just flow all over the place. It won't hit the roots of the tree where you want the water. All right, the watering is done. Look at the mound. It's holding on the water pretty nice. That's the reason why we built the mound, to hold all that nice water, to make it go right to the tree roots and not flow all over the place. So we got that done. Next step is I'm gonna start cutting this tree back and get it started on its pruning program, because I do not like the way it's growing right now. So we're gonna fix that. So this part is really painful. I don't like doing this because I'm about to cut like almost a year's worth of growth. Mangoes grow slower here in this climate, in this area. So I'm about to cut about a year's growth, but it has to be done because if I don't cut this tree, it's gonna continue to grow like along the ground and it's not gonna grow right. And I want more complex branching. So we're gonna cut the tree right here. But we're gonna lose all this growth. I cut that much. But look what's gonna happen. there's gonna be a branch coming from here, one going there, and one going there, and possibly even one coming from down here. And that's gonna give me a more complex structure that I can graft more varieties onto. And I'm gonna make a similar kind of cut right here. I'll cut it back to right here. And again, I cut at the nodes. So I find the nodes of the tree. So this is like a node right here because there's leaves coming out. So I know there's gonna be more branches and leaves coming out from this area. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's another node. So here's the growth node, and then here's all the growth without any leaves. You don't wanna cut right here. You're not gonna get any branches. You wanna cut right at the growth nodes, which is right here. There's another cut. And this branch right here, this branch is pointing up, but for uniformity's sake and for keeping the branching consistent, I'm also gonna cut this one right here, and I'll cut. So the idea is you don't wanna cut in this area. You can cut here where there's some leaves coming out, but I like this node right here, this growth node. There's a good amount of leaves coming up right here. This will be mulch. This will be my mulch actually, so it does serve a purpose. So again, the idea is, since I made that cut, there's going to be a lot of potential of branches coming up from this area right here. All right. So if I would have cut right here, for example, there'd probably be not a lot of branches coming out. It would still come out from below in that growth node. All right, people. Let me add these leaves as mulch. And let's see. Let's paint the tree a little bit as well to stop some sunburn, because I see some sun exposure, and that part might get sunburned. So I'm gonna start painting the tree too. Here's some latex paint, indoor, outdoor, I don't think it matters, but it's color white, reflects sun really well. I'm gonna come in, I'm just gonna paint the exposed areas with here's a little paintbrush. I'm painting these parts that have some sun exposure. This will block the sunburn and keep the tree healthy. Just like that. This probably, some people don't like this for aesthetic reasons. It doesn't look so good, but I've noticed that as the tree gets older, these paint marks go away after a while. All right, people, that's what the tree looks like now. It's cut back, but it will bounce back very well. I'm confident that it will. I'm gonna water this tomorrow, and then in the next 3 or 4 days, we're gonna water it again, and this tree should grow great. This is the last spot along this whole area I have, and mangoes are really tough, so they can handle tough conditions. There's heavy winds coming from that way, from the Pacific Ocean. And you got to be a tough tree to survive along this area right here, because the conditions here are really tough. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Bye.